Hello guys, my name is Shepherd. Today I want to help you understand oxidation reduction, a topic that is under chemistry section. I would like to help you understand the concept of chemistry topics under combined science. So I teach combined science. I help students online to understand ZIMSEC combined science syllabus. So today we're going to do oxidation reduction. Oxidation is defined in four ways. Oxidation is defined in four ways. We can use oxygen to define oxidation. We can use hydrogen to define oxidation. We can use electron transfer to define oxidation. We can also use oxidation number to define oxidation. We can also use these four methods to define reduction. So I'll start by defining oxidation in terms of oxygen. Oxidation is the addition of oxygen to a substance. This positive sign here means addition. So if oxygen is added to any substance, we say that oxidation has occurred. However, if oxygen is removed, this negative sign represents removal of oxygen. If oxygen is removed from a substance, we call that reduction. Now let's define oxidation in terms of hydrogen. If hydrogen is removed from a substance, we say that oxidation is also taken place. So removal of hydrogen is oxidation. Addition of hydrogen to a substance is reduction. We can also define oxidation in terms of electron transfer. If electrons are transferred to a substance, reduction or oxidation has happened. So when a substance loses electrons, this negative sign means loss of electrons. So if a substance loses electrons, we say oxidation has happened. So loss of electrons, oxidation; gain of electrons, reduction. Or you can use the acronym oil rig. You can use the acronym oil rig to understand the concept of electron transfer. So oil represent oxidation is loss of electrons, and reduction is gain of electrons. Right. We can also define these two processes using oxidation number. Addition of oxidation number, oxidation; decrease of oxidation number, reduction. I will teach you the whole concept about oxidation number another day. Right. To make you understand, let me write an example to show you a chemical reaction to show oxidation and reduction. For example, we have iron and 3 oxide reacting with carbon monoxide. We get iron plus carbon dioxide. We balance our equation. I'll teach you how to balance equation some other time. We balance the equation. We put state symbols. Right. I will teach you how to write chemical equation, formulas of compounds some other time. Right. Here we have got iron 3 oxide reacting with carbon monoxide to form iron plus carbon dioxide. In this case, we want to see a substance that has been oxidized or reduced. Now, our iron here, iron 3 oxide, there is 3 oxygen atoms to iron. Now, these are the raw materials. Iron oxide is reacted with carbon monoxide. These are our raw materials, and these are our products. Iron 3 oxide is reacted with carbon monoxide here. If you look closely, you can see that iron has got 3 atoms of oxygen, and now the iron has no oxygen atoms. It means iron has been reduced. Why? Because it lost oxygen. So iron 3 oxide is reduced to iron because of loss of oxygen. As you can see, loss of oxygen is a reduction. So iron is reduced. Then here we've got carbon mono. Our final product is carbon dioxide. So carbon mono is oxidized. Carbon monoxide is oxidized. carbon monoxide is oxidized because it has gained oxygen. So gaining of oxygen is oxidation. So carbon mono is oxidized because it has gained oxygen. Right. You may also be asked during ZIMSEC exams or when an exam, you may be asked to identify oxidation agents. Oxidation agents and reducing agents. You may be asked to define or identify reducing agents or oxidizing agents. Right. An oxidizing agent is a substance that promotes oxidation, is a substance that promotes oxidation and is itself reduced in the process. Oxidation agent is a substance that promotes oxidation and is itself reduced in the process. However, reducing agent is a substance that promotes reduction and is itself oxidized in the process. So from the equation, we want to identify now a substance that is an oxidizing agent. So for you to understand easily, a substance that is reduced becomes the oxidizing agent. So in this equation, our iron 3 oxide is the oxidizing agent. Why? Because it has been reduced in the process. Our reducing agent becomes carbon monoxide. Why? Because carbon monoxide is oxidized after. So our reducing agent is carbon monoxide because carbon monoxide is oxidized in the process. So the vice versa is true. The reducing agent, the substance that has been reduced, becomes the oxidizing agent. The substance which is oxidized becomes the reducing agent. So that is how we solve or answer questions relating to oxidation reduction. You may be asked in an exam to define what they call redox. Redox simply means a chemical reaction that involves reduction and oxidation. That's a redox. Most equations are redox. They involve reduction and oxidation. So redox reaction is a reaction that involves reduction and oxidation. Or you can define as redox reactions are reactions that involve transfer of electrons. That's a redox. Right. I think if I write the last example, let me write a last example. Iron chloride react with chlorine to form iron 3 chloride. Another example, we balance our equation. We write our state symbols. Right. From this equation, iron chloride is related to chlorine to form iron 3 chloride. So what is our oxidation? Which substance is oxidized from this equation? We do not have oxygen, there is no hydrogen, there is no oxygen. So how do we know, or how do we identify a substance that is being oxidized or reduced in the process if there is no hydrogen or oxygen in the reaction? Right, we use electron transfer. In this equation, we know that iron is a metal, chlorine is a non-metal. So metals donate electrons. We know from bonding. I'll teach you another day about bonding. So we have iron and chlorine. Iron is a metal, it donates electrons. And chlorine is a non-metal, it accepts electrons. So from this equation, we can tell that iron is oxidized because it has lost one electron to chlorine. Then chlorine is reduced because chlorine has gained electrons. So if there is no oxygen or hydrogen from the equation, you can identify substance that has been oxidized or reduced by simply studying the number of electrons or by looking into how many electrons have been transferred from a substance to another. So from our equation, iron is a metal, it has donated 1 electron to chlorine. and chlorine has gained in electron. So chlorine is reduced. Chlorine is reduced and iron is oxidized. If you find this video useful, don't forget to like and share the video. Follow me for more videos like this. Thank you.